My name is Maina. I am an event host slash MC. We do events, all manner of events, corporate events. We do weddings, social events, product launches, awards, galas. So basically anything in relation to events, we host events. An event host is the person who carries the event. They run with the program, how the day is supposed to run. So they make sure that whatever the client has in mind is actually actualized. So they are the people who bring that dream of the client into reality by making sure that the timings are kept. If their speeches are supposed to be given, they are the persons who coordinate, making sure we call the speaker after the next, trying to ensure that they basically balance the time to ensure the expectation of the client is met. But it's a people skill. It needs a lot of skill doing it. It's not just something you wake up and appear in an event and you do it. It takes time. You nurture the abilities. The more events you do, it's like fine wine. You get fine with time. So the more you do it, you hone your skills, the more events you keep doing. Interestingly, I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I have my own legal firm at Chaka Place, Hurlingham. And apart from that, of course, I'm in the event industry. I'm an event host. People ask me, these two are extremes. How do you handle these two? For me, actually, if I can stand before a judge, Maraga, or now we have a new Chief Justice, and if I can stand before the judges and the way they are feared and they instill a lot of fear, why can't I stand before probably parents and guide them on how the event should run? So I think for me, these two actually complement each other. And how I began, someone saw me in an event. I was one of the groomsmen, but my energy was too much. Like the guy all the time was like, dude, what else do you do? Then when I told him I'm an advocate, he said, no, you can't be sitting behind a desk with this energy, man. You have to do something with this energy. So I said, okay, let me know. What can I do? He told me, you can actually be a good MC. So then I told him, what do I need to do? He told me, I'll train you. 3 months, you'll pay for it, but at the end of it, you'll be a terrific MC. That was 7 years ago. And that's how I found myself in this fantastic industry of events that I have a bias for, as opposed to my legal practice. I love it. It's a good way of having fun. You have fun while working. How many people have opportunities like that? Like, it's awesome. I enjoy, I dance, I make people laugh, So, and it's an outlet. Most advocates, people tell us, you guys are supposed to be serious. You're supposed to be boring. Who said? So for me, this is an outlet. I'm an extrovert. And so events give me another energy. It gives me an outlet for me just to express my other talents and gifts. And I love it. And I've enjoyed those years of doing events. Yeah. So that's my journey into emceeing or into event hosting to where I am right now. Yeah. In the wedding industry, I've met advocates who didn't know I'm an advocate. So up until probably another guest tells them, this guy, I've seen him in court. So like there's a wedding I did, and then the bride, when I met the bride was like, I've met you somewhere. I don't know where, but I've met you. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe in school, in church. I say, don't tell me, I'll remember. So one time I'm walking in court and I meet her on the stairs and she's like, you are a lawyer. I saw you somewhere. I'm like, man, I wouldn't have known there's an advocate who is also an event host. So, but even through those events, whether it be corporate, sometimes you get clients, even through those events. You get clients that want legal assistance. And especially these couples, you see, they are starting a journey. Some of them, once they realize you're an advocate, later they call you and they tell you, you're an advocate, right? Now, my wife and I want to purchase a property. Do you guys deal with, we do property. So through the wedding, I also get work for the farm. So some of them come to me, I do agreements for them when they are purchasing property, assets, probably cars. So it's actually a good thing. Yeah, it's a blessing. Do not be narrow-minded. I think most people, you'll make a mistake if you think the deliverable here is just this wedding. We are a total sum of so many things. So, and in events, the expectations are many. You are meeting, so people's skills is very important when it comes to events, because every other day you keep meeting different people. The event I did today is not the same as tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll meet different people. The expectations are different. So you need to understand what are my deliverables in every event. And then because it's an interactive kind of sphere or field, you must know how to relate with people. Basics, you can't be rude. You must be polite. Find ways of making sure you remain calm. Have a poker face. Don't be easily read. People can just see someone has, this guy has napped. Have a poker face. Just internalize the issues. Deal with the issues at hand. Don't lose your cool. Remain, as much as sometimes curveballs are being thrown, but as the event host, you need to find a way of managing the storm. Keep them inside so that whatever is coming out does not reflect the storm around, because you dictate the tone and people will pick it. So if you're timid, if you're shaken, the guests will pick it. So you have to ensure you're calm as you interact with your guests. Understand them. Do a background check. Some of them will come to you, they're government officials. Know how to handle them. So that means you have to invest even in that industry. Don't just assume you'll wake up and you come and do an event. No, you have to invest in it. Do your personal research. If it's a client, get to know who are they. If they are willing to open up, they can tell you, I'm from the military. Do some background check about military. Of course, there's protocol. If government, again, there are protocols. You need to do that so that you don't rub people the wrong way. Even clergy, there is a way you handle them. And so and that is part of people's skill. You need to understand, because you can easily step on someone's toe. And the way our work it's personal. You interact with people. So you have to invest in it, get the skills for it, go to school for it. Don't just think this is something I can keep watching someone learn, I had to pay to learn. So there is a cost to it. If it doesn't cost you, then it's not worth it. I think we are all wired differently. We have our different personalities. For me, I'll use temperaments. The 4 temperaments I know, they are sanguines, they are cholerics, they are phlegmatics. Choleric, sanguine, phlegmatics, and melancholics. I think so. So that you'd find these temperaments play a big role even in the events industry. Because sometimes your client may be too controlling. And so you as a client, as a vendor, you have to have a listening ear. You have to listen to them. There are meetings I've gone to, and then after, probably the planner calls you and tells you, the client said that you are not a very good listener. And you think you did a good thing. But probably it has something to do with the temperament. So you need to understand their personality. Some of them are bubbly, the sanguines. Some of them are very organized, the males, Flags are a bit laid back. They are diplomatic. They don't like conflict. So you need to understand. Temperaments are very important. You need to understand the character, and not just of your clients, but also the guests. Like I said, events, the managing expectation is hard because the expectations are many. There is the client, there is the guest, and so you have to. This is a balance. So you are interacting. There is this expectation of this client, say, who is KG. They are controlling. They want this program to be strictly followed. Don't go west. Don't go east. It's 10 minutes. Keep it at 10. So that find a way of winning them over by showing your professionalism in that you handled such kind of events before. Win them over in terms of trust me as an event host, my interest is it's your best interest. So whatever I do, it would be to bring that vision you have into fruition, so that if you win them over, even if they're a bit cagey, they can learn to trust you and allow you to carry the event. And also, understanding the temperaments also helps you to know how to deal with the client. Don't be probably too, upfront. If you understand that probably they are cholerics or they are males and they are a bit protective of their spaces, you need to find a way of approaching them. Say if you want to share an idea with them, win them over. Don't push it. Don't impose, because they will push you. They will push you back. So that understanding character becomes very important, even in this industry of ours. And I think it also, this character sometimes is carried over depending on the profession that the client is coming from. Like the way I said, if you're dealing with people in the military, they tend to be very organized in what they do. So you as an event host, you must ensure that as you run the event, those aspects are very visible, that they can clearly see this guy is organized. He came on time. He's having a conversation with everyone who's part and parcel of this program. You're taking your time to go through that program with them. You decorum, you are organized, you look the part, so that understand your client, understand their personality, understand their character. It will help you on how you deliver. If you ignore that and just have one marking scheme for all your events, it will not work. Our service as MC is complementary to the other service providers. Say, for example, the people doing the deco. Most often than not, by the time someone is coming to us as the MC, we are the tail end of the vendors. When they come, they already tell us, you already have a venue, you already have a video, you already have a photographer, food and all. So by the time they're coming to us, all these guys have already been, it's condensed. They've already decided who they're going to work with. So for us, the biggest hurdle for us as the MC is you have to go out of your way to tell the client, can you share the contacts of the vendors you have, so that we strike a rapport beforehand, so that I don't injure the image of another vendor through my work, And clients come and go, but in the industry will remain. That client will leave. Tomorrow, I will still meet the vendor who provided the deco, the person who did the video. So our interaction is very important. You need to have a good working relationship with other vendors, and you must network. You must work together, and there's a synergy that comes. You realize even in events, we keep meeting the same vendors along the way. So for me, as an event host, it is important for you as an event host also to work with other vendors who are in that industry. Build a good rapport with them, because you carry their image. On that day, you are the face of the event, but behind the scenes, there are people who made it possible for that event to be there. So as you carry it, don't assume it's just your brand that you are representing. You are representing many other brands behind you. There's a photographer behind. There's a person doing the deco behind. There's a person providing the food. So that don't be too judgmental or injure the image of, even if say for example, let me pick like food, may not have met your expectations. Those are your reservations. Don't express them publicly and injure, They are friends. You can put them aside and, just talk in a good way, candidly, and help them to improve on their brand. So we are complementary. Yeah, we should strive to build each other, not destroy each other. So there are curveballs that happen in events. Sometimes you realize if you're doing a wedding, they've gone for the shoot, they've taken more time, and you had been given your deliverable or your program is, we are supposed to end at 4:30. These guys are late. It's 3, they are not yet back, and there are so many items that are remaining in the program. You must think on your feet. You must think on your feet. Because most often than not, while you're there, the parents are coming to you, the guests are coming to you. Where are they? Where are they? we need to finish, where are they? So you have to think on your feet very quickly. We usually advise it's important to have contacts of the vendors. For example, the photographer, have the contact. Be in touch with them. You can talk to them. How far are you? Keep them updated on the happenings on this side to avoid such a situation happening. We are done eating, so please wrap up. In the next 20 minutes, you need to be here. So in the event, even if you do that, that does not happen and they're late. Again, the conversation you should have had with your client is that I have your best interest at heart. Allow me to move things here and there to ensure that the timelines you gave us will be delivered. So that if it would mean I'll have to remove a segment or shorten this segment, please be flexible. Because if the client has given you the mandate, then it helps you as an event host to run the event and even reorganize to ensure you still meet the client expectation despite the curveballs that you have made in the event. But be flexible. Basically, as an event host, be flexible, be innovative, think on your feet. Curveballs will always come in events. Think on your feet. You might go to the event, the food is late, and guests are looking at you and they are wondering, we can't just sit and look at each other. So think on your feet. If you have to engage them, find a way of engaging your guests, either through songs. If you are gifted, you have this talent, you can play an instrument, take your instrument. If you are a poet, basically, every gift you have, there's an opportunity for it. Seize the opportunity. Those opportunities that look like they are catastrophes, change them, Make that lemonade out of the lemon. Don't just be too gloomy. Even you are looking there scaring and you are confused as your guests. Remember, you set the tone. So as an event host, you have to think on your feet. Think of things you can keep them engaged to divert their attention. But at the same time, you have the contact. So you are asking behind the scenes, how long are you? How far are you? Find clever ways of telling them, the chicken is being grilled, just give them a little bit of time. They are marinating it. It will be sweeter in the next 20 minutes. Find a clever way of making sure the clients are kept at peace. Handle the crisis. What they are seeing is the event being glamorous. Don't show it because it will reflect it and they will see. So you carry the event. It must be seen that the event is running smoothly. Don't allow the guests at any point to realize something is off. Yeah. So assuming you have an event and then you're sick. You have a contract with the client. The event is today. You woke up in the morning and you're sick. You can't make to the event. Or you have a bereavement or an emergency that you have to attend to. And the event must go on. My advice would be, when I started this career, my career, I was under someone. I wasn't on my own. And that helped me a lot because 2 is better than 1. So your network is your net worth. Don't assume this body sometimes may fail. We do not control it. You will do whatever you can exercise. Some things can happen. So it is important for you to network to ensure you know people who have the ability and capability of delivering, if not the same way as you, better than you. So that if such situations happen where unfortunately you cannot deliver, you must notify the client. Notify the client of what is happening, and then don't throw it at them for them to find a solution. Be the solution. Find the solution for them. Have someone who will stand in and deliver. And for example, as Mastercraft, now the company that we deal with, the MC company, we are an MC company and we have different MCs under the brand, and we did it deliberately because such events may happen where you find I am not available because of unforeseen things. And so having a pool of MCs protects us from such situations where we can have someone as a backup. Just in case I am not available, we have another MC who can stand in. But you, even if you're starting and you're alone, and probably you're wondering, I don't have the muscle or the roots for me to have probably other MCs in my company. So what happens? Networking. It is so important. You can't work as an island. You need other people around you. You need to invest in them. Go to their events. When you don't have events, stop staying at home. Go to events. See what other people do. See how they are honing their skills. So that when you refer a client to that person, you understand this person will deliver what I can deliver, probably even better, if not what I can deliver. So network. A scenario, I have an event today and something happens. Like there's an event I was doing, it was a wedding, and that morning I lost my uncle. He was sick. So he was admitted that night in the ICU, but unfortunately he passed away. So when I woke up in the morning, I was preparing, my brother came to my house. And so I could read something is wrong. So I asked him what's up. He told me, you need to sit down. Okay, what's up? Something to do with my uncle, because I knew he was in a very bad place. And he told me, unfortunately, your uncle has passed away. I remember I couldn't cry, the shock. So I just looked down, and then before I know it, I saw my wife ran to the kitchen and then came back and with a handkerchief, a warm, and then he put it on my head. I was nose bleeding, I didn't know. I think the pain, the shock of the moment. But I had to be in a wedding on that day. And they did the first aid on me very quickly, because in 2 hours an event was starting. I needed to be in that event. So I collected myself, found some energy. My wife helped and told me, you can't go alone, I'll drive you there. So she drove, she took me to the event. She was with me the whole day. We prayed together in the car and just told God, you know what, give this guy the strength. Despite the fact that I'm mourning, so that the guests do not pick it. So that I actually kept it to myself. I didn't even share with the client, because probably they would have panicked and probably say, you're sure you want to go ahead with this? Maybe you find someone else. But I gathered myself. God gave me the strength, and I did the wedding. And we had fun. We enjoyed. And in between that 10 and 5 p.m. when I finished the wedding, nobody could tell that I had an issue. I delivered and I finished. And after it, I had my chance now to mourn my uncle, and I went to the hospital, and I condoned with the rest of the family members. So these things can happen, but you need a support system around you. Have friends around you that you can work with, they can share with you, talk, but then ask. You need to be prayerful, to be a prayerful person. Pray. God will give you the strength. There is nothing that is new under the sun, and there is nothing that you meet that God will not provide the grace sufficient to overcome. So pray, turn to Him. He will give you the grace.
Scaling. For an event host, scaling becomes a very difficult thing. You see, let me compare it, for example, with the person who provides food. They would put a price tag on a plate. My plate is 1,500 a plate. So if the event has 200 guests, he knows the margins. But for me, it becomes difficult for me to tell the client, your wedding has 1,000 people. I want you to pay me more. Because he will tell me, is it your voice? There will be speakers. We'll just add speakers. 1,000 people will definitely hear you. So the numbers don't really matter. So for me, that conversation becomes very difficult in me telling the client, why should you pay me this much? Why? You only come to speak. What I would want to advise clients is that you're not paying me for the 8 hours that I'll be in your event. You're paying me for the years I've invested in building my name to get there. Because this is a skill I have honed over time. And the event that you're giving me, it's more than just speaking. Standing there, I represent everyone who you have contracted. Everyone who the client has contracted that day, I am carrying them on my shoulders. I must cover for them to ensure the day is running smooth. Even if the canvas behind is burning, it must look like it is intact. It is my role to do that, so that it is beyond just speaking. You need to win the client over for them to understand, why are you putting this value to yourself? And the biggest mistake most event hosts do is refusing or ignoring the need to assign a value to your name. You must, otherwise you'll be doing every manner of events. You need to understand not all events are yours. When you lose events, don't be bitter about it. It wasn't yours. Put a price tag to your name. You must have a target. You must have a target. Your target can't be everyone. You know, the path to heaven is not every path. There is a specific one. So even for you, you must have a target. You can't just aim for everything. What will you hit? And that comes with discipline. You must agree you will lose some and you'll get some. Put a value to it and be ready to defend your value. And don't devalue yourself. Someone will come for you. Someone knows your value. So put in the skill, the years that you have built over your work. Find a way of convincing your client not to pay you for the hours you'll be in the work, but for the years you've invested to hone your skill. So again, on the issue of scaling. So scaling, you can put a value to yourself. We start with that one. Put a value to yourself. But then also, you need to work on improving your brand. Who said that an MC is only you speaking? There are complementary services that come with the MC. Sound, DJ, stage, light. Who said you can't do deco? Who said you can't have a ground? If God blesses you with wealth, bring them on board, because now that helps you with scaling. So if I go to a client, I tell a client, my charge is 100,000 for the MC alone. But as an MC alone, you just can't book me alone to come to your event. If you take me, you take my sound. If you take me, you take my DJ. These are complementary services. Because I need my DJ. He understands how I roll. This is how I move. It makes my work very easy. I have worked with him for 6 years, for 5 years, so that he takes you as a package. It helps you with scaling. That's the one thing that you can do. Try and find other things that you can bring on board and put them in your contract. I know of MCs in this industry who cannot agree to come and invest in just MC the event alone. If you take them, you must take them with the package. So that way it helps them to scale. Then the other thing, for example, for us as Mastercraft, you'd find, let's take an example of a person doing deco or a person doing tents. They can do 5 events on the same day because they don't need, it's not an event that needs the one person to be there. He can do one here, another one at Marulamana, another one at Eva's Garden. But I can't. I can only be in Eva's Garden. I can't be in another place. So how do I handle it as an MC? You must think bigger than yourself. Network, have a company. For example, us, we have Mastercraft. We can do 5 events in one day. And how have we done it? We've trained all the MCs. When they appear there, they represent the brand. When you see Joe, you see Mastercraft. When you see Mwangi at a site, you see Mastercraft. When you see Damiano at a site, you see Mastercraft. So that helps. When a client comes over, I am selling Mastercraft, I'm not selling Joe. I need them to see the brand, not me. So that eventually, even if Joe is not available, I sold Mastercraft, I didn't sell Joe. When I tell them there's a Mwangi in Mastercraft, they bought the brand, they didn't buy me. So they trust the brand. It is easier for me now to send another person in case of an emergency. And if we have events, because eventually God will bless you and you'll find He's giving you favor, and you have clients, 3 clients, 1 a day. In the event industry, you realize there's this craze that goes around about dates. People are obsessed with certain dates. Like, for example, this year, people have been obsessed with 7th August. Yes, 7th, I do not know. Of all the weekends, of all the days we've done events, 7th August had the most calls. Every client is calling, are you available on 7th August? Another one, are you available on 7th August? It happens. Last year it was 13th of September. I don't know why. But you find there are dates when people have a craze over it. Or people are obsessed. Maybe there's something about that date.
Celestial concept.
Yes. You can never understand. So having a pool of MCs helps us, because that means you can do 5 events in a day. But you don't have that fear, oh, I've lost that job. No, it comes to the company. It's the brand. So think beyond you. Who said you'll be in this industry until you die? New guys are coming up. People want younger guys. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative. Brands outlive you. So make room for your future. Bring other people up. Don't just die with your wealth. It's unfortunate that the greatest wealth, the greatest minds are in the gravesite. They are never shared. Share your knowledge. Bring other people up. Tomorrow, you'll be old and frail. You will need someone else. So share. Let the brand outlive you. So come up with a brand. Involve other people. Have employees. Money needs to work for you. Don't go after the money. Sit. Let the money work. You're at home, but people are working and you get the money at the end of the day. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Yeah, so that's how you scale also.
So the thing is in building a brand.
Yes, build a brand. Yes. So in the event industry, you keep seeing different things, embarrassing situations maybe. There's one I did where I didn't know I was dancing with everyone, and then someone came and pulled me aside and told me, Joe, hey, your fly is open. And me, I was dancing and having a ball, and I had no idea. So you just zip up and continue like nothing happened, swallow the embarrassment. Again, remember, you are the face of the event. Whatever you show, people pick. So you have to wear the poker face. Even if for some minutes you are embarrassed, swallow it. You are human. There's another event I did where, wow, I was forced to co-MC with someone who was not part of Mastercraft. And I think at this point it's important I tell you why contracts are important, because your contract should be very explicit about your terms of service, so that a client understands when Joe comes to my site, these are the terms that he's working under. So that, like in that case, I went to an event and the couple forced an MC on me, who is not part of the company. He never attended the meetings we had with the clients. He didn't have the benefit of seeing the program that we had created with the client and gone through it. We tried our best to tell them this contract. He said, this is it. It's either it or nothing. So they basically frustrated our efforts. So he was given one side of the family, I dealt with another side of the family. So I was blacklisted. I was in the dark. When I tried to talk to the family to give me the representatives who were speaking, they told me, talk to that guy, now the other MC. So once I was done with this side of the family, I took my seat. And this guy took over and things went south. He was drunk. He really embarrassed the family. He was calling for songs that the DJ didn't have. Eventually, I think people saw something is up, because people are coming to me and asking me, is that guy part of your team? Because, he was really embarrassing the family. Eventually, actually, guys came and picked him up and went and locked him in a car somewhere. They came and told me, please just take over this program. It's going south. Because by that time, it is late. It's around 5:30. We haven't cut the cake. Speeches are not yet done. Because this guy just blew the program out of proportion. So, in short, these things will come. They will come in events, but you have to think on your feet. But now a contract becomes very important. Such things, experience has taught us a lot of things. These are things now we put in our contract. When you engage us, we do not MC our events with any MC who is not part of our brand. We'll only co-MC with people who are part of our brand. And you have to make it clear. And if that happens, it is stipulated in the contract. The contract is immediately terminated and we exit. We don't even give them the benefit of staying there. Now we exit. Because my presence there, of course, it damages my brand. Because people seeing me there thinks I have given the blessing to the person to do whatever he's doing, which is injuring my brand and probably the brand of the other vendors who are in the event. So that it's very important for you as an event host, when you are creating your contract, please talk to a legal practitioner. Don't go for these cheap quacks, or you think, what, this thing I can Google and find just a sample contract. You need to think through. Yeah. Yes, you can. Yes. So that I'm an advocate. This is what we do. We do agreements. Come to us. Of course, you'll pay for it. It's a service, but it's professional. So I will take you through what are the terms that you need to put in that contract. It must have a date. There must be an offer. There must be acceptance. There must be details of payment, terms of payment, how much is deposit being made, by which time, and you need to be very clear to your client. The contract must be expressed, because when you go to court and there's any ambiguity in your contract, it will be interpreted against you, because you had the chance for you to frame it the way you should and you didn't. So any loopholes will be interpreted against you. That's why you need an advocate. Don't go to that quack. Come to us. We are the advocates. We will prepare one for you. We will pay for it, but it will be watertight, so that you protect your interest and you protect your client's interest. So what I can tell you is that the benefit of for example, taking me or giving the work to me to prepare that contract for you, whether you are food, for example, maybe you are a food vendor or maybe you are decor services. Having been in the industry now for over 7 years, I understand the details of this industry very well. I know the items and the terms that need to be included in the contract, as opposed to probably your conventional or commercial advocate who probably doesn't have the benefit of being in the industry. Having been in the industry and still being in the industry, I have the hindsight of what details, the tiny little details that they may miss. I will know that these terms are very crucial for you to include in your agreement. So these are the benefits you'll get in case you contact us to do such agreements for you. There's another event there's an example of an event we did. The couple were late. The pastor had a flight. And the pastor had told them, this wedding must happen between 10 and 12 because I have a flight at 2. I need to be at the airport. Things happen. The bride and the groom were late. 12, they were no show. The pastor called me, told me, my brother, when they come, tell them I have the certificates, I am leaving. They will find me after they've celebrated this wedding. They come, we will talk, and I am there. The guests are seated. The bride has come, the groom, there is no pastor. So quickly, I tried, before the pastor left, I asked him, do you have anyone from your church who's present that can just officiate? Or he told me, yeah, there's a deacon around, but he hasn't arrived. But once he arrives, you can talk to him. He tries if he can do a semblance of a program. So what we did quickly, the pastor left, he went with the certificates because he also had to sign. So good thing the deacon came just before the couple came. So we went through the program with him quickly. I told him, you know what, I need you to make a semblance of a program here. The guests should not know that this has happened. It's between me, you, and the couple and the best couple. They know you are the pastor. Everything will happen. We got plain papers. They look like certificates. We put them there. We told photographers, don't dare take photos of these papers. Stand far and capture as if you're capturing certificates being signed. So they came, and the preacher and the pastor welcomed them. We know this is not a pastor. We continued praise and worship. He preached. He joined them. It happened like it should, because these are things we've done. So, and the deacon having the benefit of being in church, he understands how the program runs. So that's how we saved the day. He signed the certificates, you know. He told him, wrap it up. This one you are not showing. Put it here. And, you know, I present to you man and wife. And we did the wedding and we finished. And me and my people, we went to the ceremony. These guys, after honeymoon, they looked for the pastor, I'm sure, and they signed the original certificates. And that was done. So me as the MC, I had to think on my feet very quickly, what should I do? The guests didn't know what happened. It was between us. And so we saved the day, just like that. We have another event where there was tight security. I didn't understand why there was tight security. There were bouncers all over the place. So I got to talk to the coordinator and he told me, we anticipate there might be some fracas. Someone might want to stop this wedding. So the instructions we have, whatever happens, MC, this wedding must go on. So I told them, okay. It was announced the normal way, the AG, the 21 days lapsed, even in church and everything, okay. So the wedding began. And so when the pastor asked, is there anyone who has any reason why? And you know that church, it had an overflow, a balcony where people were, the overflow. So when the pastor asked that, someone shouted from the balcony, yes, yes, yes. Then after a few minutes or seconds, there was silence. There was commotion and then silence. So the pastor asked again, is there anyone? There was silence. So we proceeded with the event in silence. Little did you know, kuna mtu alikuwa amefinywa mahali. There was someone who was being, you know, because he wanted to stop a wedding. So the bouncers acted very swiftly and fast and took the fella, cornered him somewhere. And I'm sure they informed him in a very respectable way why this wedding has to go on. And so the wedding continued despite the protests. Later, I think we came to realize someone was trying to stop the wedding. But I think they dealt with the crisis very well. So for such kind of things, please plan to have security. You never know. And you know yourself. So maybe you anticipate there is someone who might pop up somewhere. So please provide sufficient security to ensure your day is not disrupted. Because these fellas, for some reason, do not, although there is 21 days, for some reason, they just wait until the D-Day for them to show up and ruin the cuckoos and chapatis that you prepared for your guests. So please prepare accordingly, because such things can happen. I have seen them in weddings. So prepare. People are evil, man. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Not everyone is pro-marriage. Or maybe you injured an ex, and it's decided that day is when my vengeance shall be revealed in full force. And so they come and make your wedding and try and ruin your day. So please make appropriate arrangements. Don't take things for granted. These two small details, please have ushers, please have security, pay for it. These are the things. Don't underestimate these services. They may look like, I think that is an overkill. Is it really necessary? One day, it might cost you. So go that extra mile. If you need that security, provide. There's another one I did where it was a card-only wedding. We were 120 guests. So the bride came, the mother was in the car. But then the mother refused to come out of the car with the bride. And she told the bride, you are not coming out. So now I had to rush because the pastor is waiting. Everyone is here. Where is the bride? Then when I went to the mother told me, go and tell the groom there's a bus outside that has 62 people. They must come in. If they don't come in, the bride is not coming out of this car. Hey, me, I'm telling you, that groom, I think he was sweating bullets. It's your wedding day. The caterer has 120 plates. The room has 120 chairs. There is a bus outside with 62 or 60 people waiting to come in, a bus from Shags. And mom is saying, they don't come in, we do not come out. We were there for 30 minutes. The groom is holding to his ground. Mimi, no one is entering. And he had actually secured the services of, I think it was a very reputable, I think G4S back then. These masculine guys, you can't pass there without a card, and they were checking a checklist. The mother said, it's okay. Unlocked the doors, the doors of the car, and told the bride, you are not leaving this car. My guests must come in. So eventually the groom told me, you know what, this day has to go on. So go tell the security, they leave those fellas to enter. Whole bus, 62 more people are in the wedding. Man, I tell you, you should have seen the mood of that wedding changed from that moment. The groom was pissed off the whole time. They were not looking eye to eye with the mother of the bride. Like, it was just bad. The caterer had to shift. Instead of serving your plate with some starch here, some proteins here, some fruit here, you choose either. You can only have a starch maybe, some protein here, so that everyone has something. You know, and it was a glamorous wedding, but it ended up being, it just got spoiled because of that. I really felt for them because you could tell there was a lot of strain, there was tension in the room, because this is not what probably the couple wanted. So, but it happened. Now I am in the center of everything, managing the expectation as the MC. There is the mother of the bride, who is the source of the problem. The groom here, the caterer, he cooked, yes, she did all she could to ensure the meal is there, but she didn't anticipate this big number. It has happened. There are no seats. These people are standing. There was an arrangement that has been set. All that was gone. So I think everyone in that wedding was just praying for 5 p.m. Just finish and go. Yeah.
They stick together.
I hope so. I hope so.
And the bride and groom, were they looking at each other?
Yeah, I think the groom had issues with the mother. I think, but they were not in talking at all. Like, they couldn't even look at each other. He was really pissed off. And I think it's one of those weddings where I think the couple were the ones who funded, or they did the wedding out of their own pocket. So they really felt the pinch. And they really wanted a glamorous event. And when I was talking to him, he told me, in those 30 minutes, he told me, this conversation, you already had it. The parents understood very well the guests. We gave them a list in advance. They told us, these are the guests. We gave them the cards in advance. Why is she bringing 60 more people to the event? She knows very well, we do not have the chairs. We haven't planned for them. But the mother was adamant and said, they don't come. There is no wedding. But now the groom wanted a wife. What do you do? My word of advice to would-be investors in this industry, the wedding industry or the events industry, is that please be guided with your passion. Don't just go for the money alone. You must be passionate about it. Because there are people who quit well-paying jobs. Why? They have no passion for it. If you have a passion for photography, you have a passion, you are a people person. Like, for example, let me talk about the MC field or the MC sphere. If you are a people person, you must be a people person. Be willing to accommodate people. Don't be too cagey, you know. So there are aspects of your life that are complementary with this industry, you know. If you are an introvert, you might find it very difficult to flourish in this industry for the MCs, because you must be outgoing, you must be social, you must look happy even when down you're collapsing. Every ball is being dropped, but I have to show a happy face all the time. If you can't smile, probably you're in the wrong place. So do a personality test, go for training, you know, invest in it, find out, is this the right place for me to invest? It's not for everyone. That's why not all of us are doctors, not all of us are pilots, not all of us are chefs, you know. So also for yourself, invest. You need to put training to it. You need training. Go to school and learn these skills, you know. Take personality test, understand what type of temperament are you, what type of personality are you. If you're looking at the events industry, maybe you want to go into decor, food, you need to partner with people in the skill. Have friends who are already in that industry. You know, ask them, what are the difficulties, challenges, estimate capital that I need to invest in this industry. But go for it. No matter how small, go for it. If you're passionate about it, go for it. Even today, start with those friends of yours around. Don't wait for the big one, you know. Those relatives around you, those friends of yours. Tell them, you know what, even when I started, I did almost 10 events as a gift because my name needed to be known. So there are sacrifices I had to make. And most of the young people out there don't want to make those sacrifices. You're looking at me now, you're seeing this glory, you're thinking that, you know, no. There is a sacrifice to it. So some of those friends, volunteer your services. Let them see you're starting an ushering company. Let them see you being at work. Say, I'll do it for you. I'll be at the gifts registry. I will usher your guests in, you know. They will see the value. So talking about training, I told you, you need to professionalize this skill. Eh? So Samantha's School of Wedding and Events is very crucial to you. You need to enroll like yesterday. These guys will teach you to hone your skills when it comes to planning, event management, entrepreneurship skills. How do you put a value to yourself? What are the aspects you need to look at? This is the place to be. So please find time, invest in Samantha's Academy for planning and events, okay? Then something else I need to say about this industry that we've suffered for long. You see, as advocates, we have something called Advocates Remuneration Order. That is an act of parliament. Now, this act regulates how much we charge. So that if you walk into my office for this kind of case, I will bill you X amount. If you move to the next office, they will charge you the same amount, if not more. What does that do? It regulates. It removes undercutting. If you undercut, we are taken to the disciplinary board where we can face, we are charged actually for undercutting. Undercutting injures us a lot, even in the MC industry. Because it's not regulated, you find that there are event hosts who will come and, you know, they meet a client and then the client tells them, I met Joe and Joe has charged me this much. Ah, okay. For the same services, I'll give you less 20,000, you know. So even you guys who are in this industry, undercutting does not just injure me. It injures the whole spectrum. All of us suffer because we are devalued. We are devalued. You need to put a value to your name and don't badmouth other vendors who are in the same sphere. You are killing the industry. So this issue of undercutting, please be professional. And if you go to Samantha's academy, you will be trained on how to be professional. You will know your value, how to price yourself, so that when you meet a client, you understand, why should I tell them my worth is 100,000, not 50? Because tomorrow someone else will come and say, but you did for so and so at 50. Why are you charging me 100? Then the next one, yeah, you charge. So you are busy here trying to scale and you can't. Why? Because your value is all over the place. So please get some skills on how you can value yourself, issues to do with scaling, and how to professionalize your skill. Political events, issues to do with protocol. Now you see, when it comes to events where you have politicians are a special breed. They see crowds, they go mad, they're excited, they just see numbers. Even when probably the people who are in that event are not your electorate. So that you find they can easily hijack the event. They turn it into a political event. So even a word of advice for the people in the event industry, when you have a privilege of getting an event where you are doing for a politician or a daughter or a son of a politician, please insist in meeting the politician. Take them through the program the same way you took your client through the program, for them to understand what is the itinerary of the day, so that they understand, if I take 30 or 40 minutes away from this program, this is how it will mess up this day. So that make it a part and parcel, you must meet the politician in the event. And then people fear God more than man. When we have political events where politicians are involved, specifically weddings, we try and advocate and advise the couple to advise the politicians to speak in church, because chances are they will retain the decorum. The foul language might not come out in church as opposed to the reception. They manifest their true colors at the reception because maybe there is no God there, because it's not, there's no picture of Jesus there. So we try and advise, if there is any speeches that politicians must speak, please let them speak in church. Because there, the presence of God somehow instills some fear. They think maybe the lightning might strike me if I mention another party here. So try and advise them to speak there. If they insist on speaking at the reception, as an MC, what I can tell you for free, you have a hard time. But understand the protocol. You need to go through the protocol. These people have their own protocol managers. You have to have a conversation with them to understand who do you call before who. That hierarchy is very important in the political circles. So make sure that you stick to them. It was a privilege actually doing the deputy president's wedding. It was quite an honor. Of course, all of us had an undisclosure agreement. Such events, they don't take risks. You have to keep them under wrap until it's done. So that's why for some of us, we were silent up until when it blew out of proportion. But we thank God for the opportunity. It was a very good learning experience for me on how to deal with protocol, and also a privilege seeing how God has brought me, how far God has brought me to where I am. But we've done political weddings or weddings with politicians now. And so if you have a friend of yours who wants to do a wedding and probably they're a politician, I have done one. You're looking at him. I can do it. So, yeah. That thing actually for us blew us. When we joined, I was then at Sisimsha. And when we joined, we thought, you're paying for the stall. This money is expensive and what? Let me tell you, that money came, I think, within the first 3 months. Because a lot of people who come there, they already know what they want. The fair gives them an opportunity for them to tie the loose ends. You have everything under one roof. You want deco, it's there. You want grounds, it's there. You want MCs, they are there. You want sound, it's there. Card, it's there. Destination, it's there. What else are you looking for? Samantha's Fair that's the thing, man. That is where you find everything, all under one roof. So for us, investing there, because of the traffic that comes, the clients, whatever we spend We recovered it within a short time, because we managed to clock in a lot of clients through the fair. Then the fair itself, we had a chance also for us to host the fair severally, not just once, for the several fairs that we've had with Samantha's Bridal. It's an awesome team. And so it gave us a platform for us also to hone our skills. So I really want to thank the team for giving us that opportunity. Samantha's Bridal, we really appreciate for you for giving us an opportunity for us to hone our skills, and for you also seeing the vision that we have and allowing us to also be part of the team. We really appreciate. That platform helped us a lot. So the thing with Samantha's Bridal, before we joined, because people kept telling us, Samantha's Bridal is for the upper class, these guys go for the creme de la creme. So we sat at this mission and thought, creme de la creme, that's what we want. We've been missing it. How much does it cost? We did quick mathematics and we said, that's where we want to be. Let's go for those guys. So once we entered, our brand exploded. Just like that, people, like that brand, people seeing you are associated with Samantha's Bridal. It gave us a clout that we could never have reached. That the endorsement and being associated with the brand, it shows professionalism, trust, and for us, we are really indebted to Samantha's Bridal Fair because they opened doors that it would have taken us years to open, just by virtue of us having that platform, being present at the fair, and also being given an opportunity for us to even host the event. It really opened doors that even to date, we can't wrap our minds around. It's really a blessing. And you as a vendor, maybe outside there, and you're looking for the next big thing, think Samantha. Think Samantha's Bridal Fair. That's the missing puzzle. Go there, man. It will open doors you've never seen. That's where the who and the who's come to find out, where do I get the perfect destination for my honeymoon? Where the perfect destination for the venue, food. That is the place. So go there. Don't be too, worried about you get the finances. Eventually it will pay off, but try it. We've never regretted. Yes. So this terminology, force majeure that people keep saying, this is a term that should be in every contract of a person in the event sphere. My friend, that clause should never miss in your contracts. COVID has taught us a lot of things. Force majeure basically means these are things beyond human control that can happen. In the case of, in the event of such eventualities, then the contract is frustrated. You cannot meet the obligations because of the conditions that happen. So there are several things that can fall under that force majeure clause, which basically means these are things that if they happen, the contract becomes frustrated. You need to factor that because COVID, of course, came out of nowhere and events were being cancelled left, right, and center. If your contract had not captured it, like most of us, some were refunding the whole amount. And these are things beyond your control. So force majeure are things that are beyond your control. They can be ascribed to some deity. It's an act of God. There's, for example, floods. You've seen there was flood in Germany and in Belgium, and those guys were wondering, we've never seen floods. These are things that should be happening in third world countries. Force majeure. Floods can happen. Earthquakes. Who knows, there can be an earthquake. Tsunami. So those are things that you need to include.
Strong wind that blows out there.
Yes, things basically that are out of your control. Probably wind. I've seen tents, uprooted from the grounds, and you are there, and the client is saying, "You saw you were under trees. Your tent was carried away. Why should we pay you? You didn't give us any tent." But I didn't remove the tent. It's the wind. But you didn't put it in the clause. So put it in the clause under force majeure. Come to us. Deal with professionals. We'll put those terms in your contract to ensure you are protected. Fire. Political violence. Especially you're going into an election period. Have you factored? You might be enjoying your nini and then goons from enter your venue and they steal the food. And the vendor tells you, my people did not eat the food. I will not pay you. My friend, it is there. Even if it happens, my friend, you have to pay. You are doing it under conditions, political conditions, when the tensions were very high. You should have anticipated the goons might at some point enter. Kwanza, you are doing it closer to Kibera or closer to, you know. So please think about these things. When you deal with professionals, they will tell you these things. So force majeure is an important clause to put in your contract. It will protect you as a vendor to make sure that in case of eventualities that are beyond human control, you are protected, you can still get your money despite the event happening.